Okay, call the meeting to order. Let's have a roll call.
Copeland,
Here.
McCain,
Here.
Wertz,
Here.
Hyen,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Rust,
Here.
Hanfelder,
Here.
and Trent.
Here.
Okay, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
I
allegiance
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic
which
for which
stands
it stands, one nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, any public comments? Sue?
I have received none in writing. I don't know if anybody has.
I would like to make a public comment.
Okay,
Okay, do I go ahead? Yes, okay.
yes, and there's a 3-minute time limit per person. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Debbie Witskin, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Lewis and Clark full-time faculty who are represented by the Lewis and Clark Faculty Association. The mission of Lewis and Clark is to empower people. The vision for this institution is to be a preeminent provider of relevant, high-quality learning experiences to the communities we serve. Our values include respect and integrity. Unfortunately, over the last 2 years, the culture of Lewis and Clark has changed. The environment the board leadership has created no longer feels important or respectful. We have an opportunity to work together. We have faculty, staff, and administration willing to collaborate and to work to make Lewis and Clark a distinguished provider of college experiences. In contrast, the divided and partisan nature of the board has led to a climate where some faculty are fearful of possible board actions, including reduction in force. Too often, some members of the board reach well beyond their duties and interfere with ours. The Higher Learning Commission Accreditation Criterion 5.A.1 requires that shared governance at the institution engages its internal stakeholders, including its governing board, administration, faculty, staff, and students through planning, policies, and
It's not there.
this criterion makes it clear that the faculty have a responsibility to actively engage in consequential matters of institutional governance. In order to fulfill this responsibility, a full-time faculty survey was conducted to gauge opinion of the effectiveness of our current board leadership. The survey, which was completed by approximately 70% of our full-time faculty, and the results were shared with faculty, administration, and board earlier today, indicate a majority of faculty opinion that the current board leadership is falling short in these following responsibilities. Participate meaningfully in shared governance, review faculty interest in decision-making deliberations, delegate day-to-day management of the college to the administration, adopt the mission of the institution, and meet the commitment to action by the board as a whole. The concerns and feedback provided specifically indicate that a majority of full-time faculty strongly feel individual board members do not have the best interests of Lewis and Clark in mind when making decisions. We urge each of you to reflect on the role you play within Lewis and Clark and your obligations to work together with all internal constituents. We as faculty have rallied support as demonstrated in the most recent trustee election. We will no longer be passive and allow the college we love to be governed by board leadership that we feel has a myopic view and personal agendas. The support of Dr. Traska is overwhelming inside and outside of the college. His ideas, leadership, and the teams he is building have all of us excited for what the future holds. We want to reiterate the change needed with the current campus mood in which faculty feel threatened. We need that improved. Together, we can work towards our mission of empowering people. We fully acknowledge that officer elections are solely the purview of the board. However, in light of
Thank you, Debbie. That's time. I'm sorry.
Okay, we hope that you'll reconsider your board leadership. Thank you.
Any other comments? If not, need a motion to accept resolution 21-7, which deals with the votes for the past election.
Motion.
So move.
Okay, Brenda. Dwight, you second that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Any discussion? Call for the vote?
Copeland,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
yes,
Trent.
Okay. I think technically he's not a member yet. I think that's the next step. Okay, that,
Well, they're members as soon as the vote is canvassed.
oh, is
is
that
the-
right?
That's
Okay.
the rule, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we have the administration oath of office for Dwight Wertz and Larry Trent.
Do you want to repeat after me?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. I, and then your name,
I, Dwight
I,
Wertz,
Larry Trent,
having been duly elected
have been duly
having been
elected
duly elected
to the office of member
to the office of member
of the Board of Trustees
of the Board of
Board of
Trustees
Trustees
of Community College District Number 536,
of Community
of
College
Community
District Number
College District Number
536,
536,
Lewis and Clark Community College,
Lewis and Clark
Lewis and
Community
Clark
College,
Community College,
Madison, Macoupin,
Madison,
Madison,
Cleveland,
Macoupin,
Jersey, Calhoun,
Jersey,
Jersey,
Calhoun,
Calhoun,
Greene, Morgan, and Scott counties,
Green, Morgan, and
Greene,
Scott
Morgan, and Scott
counties,
counties,
State of Illinois,
State of
State of
Illinois,
Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly
solemnly
swear
swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the
and the
Constitution of the State of
Constitution of
Illinois,
the State of Illinois,
and the policies of Community College District 536,
and the policies of Community College District 536,
as amended, and that I
as amended,
and
and
I
that I
will faithfully conduct myself
will
will
faithfully
faithfully
conduct myself
in the office of trustee
in office
the
of
office of
trustee
trustee
of Community College District 536
of Community College
Community
District
College District
536
536
of the State of Illinois.
of the
of
State of
the State of
Illinois.
Illinois.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have the selection of officers. Chair, vice chair, secretary, and assistant secretary.
I would like to offer, if allowed, that the existing officers be elected A through D.
Is there a second to that motion?
Excuse me,
Second.
are you putting everyone together as our current officer package?
Yes, A through D.
Is there any opening to submit a name?
The motion has been made and seconded, or we're waiting for a second.
All right.
Yes, we're waiting for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yes. We heard someone. Who was it?
That was me, Kevin Rust. I seconded the motion.
Okay, you second the motion. Okay. Any discussion?
I think we ought to do each individual office at a time.
Motion has been made and seconded to elect all four officers with one motion. The election of the chair, that would be David Hyen. Election of vice chair would be Julie Johnson. Election of the secretary would be Kevin Rust. Election of the assistant secretary would be Chuck Hanfelder. Call for the vote.
Copeland,
Yes.
McCain,
No.
Wertz,
No.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
No.
Rust,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
yes,
Trent,
No.
Okay, motion did not pass. Okay, we go to A, election of the chair.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Julie Johnson as the chair.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded that Julie Johnson be the chair.
Can I decline the nomination?
Yes,
I would like to decline the nomination.
is there a motion for someone else to be chair?
I'll make a motion that David Hine be elected as the chair.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? Call for the vote. The election of the chair would be nominated, David Hine has been nominated. Thank you.
okay, Copeland,
No.
Hanfelder,
Yes,
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent,
No.
McCain,
No,
Wertz,
No,
Hyen,
Yes. Now the election, I need a motion to elect the vice chair.
I nominate Dwight Wertz for vice chair.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded that Dwight Wertz be elected as vice chair. Any discussion?
I have a point of discussion that really has little to do with the vote, but for the sake of myself, this is Kevin Rust and Chuck Hanfelder, it would be important to repeat some things, like, for example, who made the second, who made the first, and so on.
Okay, Sue, you want to repeat that?
so McCain moved and Trent seconded that Dwight Wertz would serve as vice chair.
Chuck, did you and Kevin hear that?
I did.
I did.
Okay. Call for the vote.
Copeland,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes,
Trent,
Yes.
Wertz,
yes,
Hyen,
No.
Johnson,
No.
Rust,
No.
Hanfelder,
No,
Defeated, motion defeated. Do we have someone else nominated for vice chair?
I would like to
This is Kevin Rust. I
nominate,
Julie Johnson.
I would second that.
Okay, Julie Johnson has been nominated for vice chair. And was that Kevin that nominated her?
yes, it was, and
Yes.
Hanfelder second.
Call for the vote.
Copeland,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes,
Trent,
Yes.
McCain,
no,
Wertz,
yes,
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Julie's been elected as vice chair. Now the election for secretary. Do I have a motion?
would like to nominate Kevin Rust for for secretary.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. Election of secretary would be nominated and seconded was Kevin Rust.
Yes. Okay, Copeland,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Johnson,
yes,
Rust,
yes,
Trent,
Yes.
McCain,
yes,
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes. Motion carried. Election of the Assistant Secretary. Need a motion?
this is Kevin Rust. I nominate Chuck Hanfelder.
Is there a second to the motion to elect Chuck Hanfelder as Assistant Secretary?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Call for the vote?
So this is for Chuck Hanfelder as Assistant Secretary. Kevin Rust made the motion and Julie Johnson seconded. Copeland,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes,
Johnson,
Yes,
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
McCain,
yes,
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen.
Yes. Chuck Hanfelder, motion been passed. Appoint the treasurer. I'd like to appoint Mary Schulte, who has always been our treasurer. Would we need that in the form of a motion or just appoint? The agenda says appoint.
Yes, it does. Let's go ahead and make that a motion just to be sure.
Okay. We have a motion to have Mary Schulte as the treasurer for the college.
I'd
Motion.
like to make a motion to appoint Mary Schulte as treasurer.
Okay. Dwight, would you want to second that then?
Sure.
Okay. Motion been made and seconded that Mary Schulte be appointed the treasurer. Any discussion? If not, call for the vote.
Copeland,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
yes,
Rust,
yes,
Trent,
Yes.
McCain.
yes,
Motion carried. Appoint committee members. Finance Committee, I'd like to appoint Julie Johnson and Kevin Rust. Buildings and Grounds, Dwight Wertz, Chuck Hanfelder. Policy, Larry Trent and Chuck Hanfelder. And Personnel, Brenda McCain and Kevin Rust. Next on the agenda is appoint the representative to ICCTA to a 2-year term. I appoint Kevin Rust. Next on the agenda is the established date, time, and place for regular meetings. Need a motion to establish the list as presented to each board member. I assume every board member received the printout or printed it out themselves.
So moved.
Okay, Larry moved. Need a second?
Second.
Dwight second. Any discussion? Call for the vote?
Copeland,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
yes,
Rust,
yes,
Hanfelder,
Yes.
McCain.
yes.
Any further business to be discussed? If not, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you for attending.